I'm Shenelle.
And I'm Gennelle.
And this is season 2 of Shenelle and Gennelle,
where book talk meets culture. And this season we're so excited and hopefully bringing back in the culture to all of these book talks.
Yes.
Our first book is going to be Black is a Rainbow Color in highlight of Black History Month.
Yes. So I really love this book. So what the book, to give a summary of the book, it speaks about a young girl who's coloring and she wants to draw a rainbow, and she realizes that the color black is not in the rainbow. So she sees blue and green, but then she has this realization that she is black. So black is not part of the rainbow, but she realizes like, well, my color is black. And then the book is beautifully written. It then goes through the journey of her saying, identifying where she sees black in her environment, like in feathers and on the lines in the street, and the braids in her friend's hair are black. But then the book goes even deeper into talking about the history and culture of being black. Like black is not only just an ethnicity, it's also a culture.
Yeah, I like that in that particular story, the author starts with black is, and she puts everything that's black. I think overall the theme of saying like how we portray the rainbow as being this beautiful thing with all these different colors. And even though black is not in it, to the end of it all, black becomes its own rainbow. Like being black has so many different aspects. And I think the author did an excellent job, included poetry and songs from different lines. I think it's something that adults will enjoy reading, just knowing the history, but also it's a reference where you can teach kids.
Yeah,
I love that.
Because in the end of the book, the author includes like a song playlist, some poems. So definitely there's more stuff for like further education for parents to go in and just develop other interests and skills and extended activities. So there's so much in this book.
One thing that the author mentioned in this book is that what inspired her to write it is when she was teaching her daughter during Black History Month about being black, the little girl stopped and said, "Mommy, I ain't black, I'm brown." I've heard that countless times in the school. The kids are like, wait, I'm not black, I'm brown. But the idea, understanding that black is a culture and not like, we're not talking about the skin color, So I think that's beautiful, and I think that it highlights, like it surely highlights what it means to be black, and how it's a strong representation of the power and the diversity of being black in the U.S.
Yeah, within the U.S. and just the history and all. And I think, too, the author also hinted on how sometimes there's a taboo between some people calling themselves black and African American, and what's the terms that we're going to use. Everyone want to be politically correct. And it's okay. Like, for me, I prefer black. I prefer people say I'm black than as opposed to like African American. In the back of the book, she actually referenced like the different terms that we were referred to or we labeled ourselves as throughout history.
From like Negro all the way to black, African American, people
of color,
colored,
and then going back to African American and now being black, and how people use the term African American and black interchangeably. But I think regardless of who you identify it with or what you want to call what term you want to identify with, regardless, it's all beautiful. And it's more of like a culture, it's more of a cultural experience also than it's just like a ethnic identity.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
So I have some notes on this book. Besides the summary and stuff, this season we wanted to really tone into whether or not these books were good for readers that were struggling with reading, because that's part of our story, and we felt like it's relevant and needed for parents to say, hey, if I get this book for my kid who's reluctant to reading or is a struggling reader, would they enjoy this book? So let's break it down.
So we came up with an acronym called ACE.
Yes.
A is it accessible? Is it easy to read, accessible to the reader, either a child or an adult? C, cultural relevance. Is it culturally relevant, meaning that if it is a black book, do we feel the culture of blackness in the book? And E, being entertaining or engaging for the reader.
Yes.
Right.
Regardless of age or and their interests.
Yeah.
So that's ACE. So we have to break this down.
Yeah, we spelled that. We spelled that. ACE, ACE, yes.
Yes.
So how would you ace this book, Black is a Rainbow Color?
So I think this book is like an aced book, meaning that it is accessible to readers between, I would say, 8 years old. They can read this maybe independently. But but it's for probably between the ages, I say between 4 and 8 and maybe 9. 9 might be pushing it. But I think the kids can access the actual print, but there's parts of it that I think parents would enjoy teaching their kids about. There's references to songs and people in history that kids won't know about independent from this book. They'll need like a follow-up on. So it is accessible when it comes to reading print, but when it comes to all the knowledge and information, they will probably need some more support. And there's definitely things in here that kids would read over that they won't get the reference to.
Definitely need support with that. Culturally, it's head-on. It's 100% culture. Black, yes, it's strong. It's not whitewashed. It's not misrepresented. It's definitely going into Black history. Strong reference to Black culture. The language, the tone, the style, everything speaks to Black culture and Black experiences. And the E, very engaging.
First, I think the illustrations are on point.
Yes.
The illustrations, this bright, bold colors is a highlight in the features of the rainbow within the book, but also the illustrator was so key in using the black to outline every feature of every item, object in the book so that black really does stick out.
Yeah, it's really bold.
Yeah.
Even though she uses the rainbow colors in the text and the illustration is so rich with color, black is part of it. The blackness is really bold and part of it.
And what I like about it, it just even goes deeper into the book of how blackness goes throughout history, right? Like every part of the book needs to have some black lining or outlined, or else you won't see what that object was in order to form that image. Like, girl. Telling you all it is. So to form the image, like you couldn't get the braids in the hair or the people in the street or all these historical figures. Their features and everything about them, just the silhouettes of them are all outlined in black. So it's pretty like, you know.
So like black is the foundation.
Yes, it's the start of
the foundation of how they create and you create in the images.
Yes, and I think it's written in a poem style and it's very rhythmic. You know what I mean, like the rhythm, like the poem, it rhymes. And what else? What else did you find engaging?
The colors, and I think to the end when she puts like the reference to the songs. I think those things you can go play, listen to the type of songs and music, read the different poems. Like there's a lot of extended activity that's already embedded within the book. So I think that.
So this author aced it. I think you could pick up this book and go with it. You can stop where you want to, or you can even extend it beyond what you were even thinking. I think it's like this is an ace.
Yeah, this is an ace book, and I think in the classroom, easy go-to, easy Black History Month review. Not only for Black history, but in general, a nice start for young readers to learn about Black culture.
Yes, I definitely like it.
That's a wrap.
Long story short, black is a rainbow color.
Yep. Long story short, black is a rainbow color. I like that.